Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Cards That I Cast For channel. I want to thank you all for watching, and in this video it is going to be the start of the showcase series of the 2017 Panini Select Endorsement line. This will be video 1, where we will go and showcase the base version of this excellent endorsement line. It is perhaps my most favorite of all time. It is certainly my most invested, as I have complete sets for everything except, of course, the checker flag 1 of 1, but you can't have the whole world. But what we're going to do here is showcase all the base, and then the next video is going to be the blue, and then the red, and then the entire gold autograph line, which is going to be excellent to showcase. And then with the checker flag one, we'll go through all the various known pools that I don't own or have since sold, and then we will actually showcase, kind of like what we did with the signatures, showcase what few live action hits that I have and call it a series. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, let's just dive right into it. This is again is the 2017 Panini Select Endorsement Base Autograph line. So unlike the signature line, we're actually going to give the base and the blue and the red their own videos, because there's a lot more star power with this autograph line versus the signatures. As I said, the signatures featured a lot of up-and-coming drivers and retired drivers. The endorsement line, on the other hand, has a lot of the star power, but of course our first few autographs will not feature drivers. It's actually going to feature crew chiefs, and our first crew chief will be for Adam Stevens. This is the crew chief for Kyle Busch. They won the championship in 2015 and again in 2019. So this is a two-time champion crew chief. And there you go. The back of the cards will not be stamped, as they are base. And so we will now move on to Chase Elliott's crew chief. And this is Alan Gustafson. These are the people who sit on top of the war boxes and command the crew as they go through the race itself and make all the strategies and everything else. So there you go, Alan Gustafson, crew chief for Chase Elliott. Here is Dick Berggren. This is a very unique addition. This is a long-time analyst that was on TV but has since retired several years ago, and for some reason Panini decided to go out and reach to him, and now he's part of the great endorsements line. And of course, don't fool yourself, as I stated in the signatures videos. It's actually a little bit difficult sometimes to pull autographs for some of the lower tier people. You would think they'd be readily available, but they end up not being so. Here's Billy Scott. This guy here, I think now is the crew chief, I think for Cole Custer, I believe, but used to be the crew chief at the time in 2017 for Danica Patrick. So this used to be Danica Patrick's crew chief right there. And then here we go with Dale Inman. This is the longtime crew chief, I believe, for Richard Petty. So this is a classic autograph from back in the day, or at least the individual is. And so there you go, Richard Petty's crew chief right there, or engine builder, or I think they're actually related, I think, but again, I could be all mistaken. You could correct me in the comments there. This is Paul Wolf, who at the time was the crew chief for Brad Keselowski, but I think they have switched teams, and he might be Ryan Blaney's crew chief right now. But still, Brad Keselowski, who does not sign autographs on card, he always signs the stickers. I've always thought, because I actually do have the 1 of 1 for this card, that if I ever go to a signing appearance, but of course at this point those things might be a thing of the past due to the pandemic going on, but I was always thinking, well, maybe I could go at least get him to sign his face over here and kind of give it like an endorsements 1 of 1 for Brad Keselowski, which will not be featured because it doesn't exist. But again, here is Paul Wolf. And then here we have Rodney Childers, and this here is for Kevin Harvick. This is his crew chief. So not too much else to say right there. Again, this was an autograph that took some time for me to secure. And then of course, this is the thing is, though, once you secure the card that you finally miss, all of a sudden like a ton of them pop up on eBay. Here is Slugger Labbe, who I believe was affiliated with Michael Waltrip Racing. I think he was Michael Waltrip's crew chief for a time, but has since either retired or has taken an office position or something like that. I don't think he's actually a crew chief anymore. But there you go with Slugger Labbe. This is Mike Bugaravich, although when you look at his name right there, you would think it would be like Buggerwicks or something like that, but I think it's Bugaravich. This is the crew chief, I believe, for Clint Boyer, or at least was. He was Tony Stewart's last crew chief, I know that. But there you go. Here is Mike Bugaravich in his base endorsements. And now here we go with our first autograph for a driver, and here it is, ladies and gentlemen, for Bill Elliott. The awesome Bill from Dawsonville, one of the fastest drivers of the 80s. And there you go, that is his base endorsements autograph right there. Moving along now, here is Bobby Labonte, who in later prints will be a short printed driver. There's currently, I believe, 4 short printed drivers, and we will go through those as we go through the later videos. But there is Bobby Labonte. You guys may remember this guy right here. This is Mark Martin. Mark Martin, who probably would have been a champion had it not been for a guy named Jeff Gordon in the late 90s. May have won a 90 championship, but of course there's that infamous penalty that cost him the amount of points. I think it was 46 points. He wound up losing the championship by 26. You know, that's how it was back in the day. Every point counts, even if it didn't feel like it. Every point count towards the championship, because everything was all season back then, not the playoff system we have now. Here is Terry Labonte's autograph. Terry Labonte's autograph is actually quite unique, and I'll explain more as we go into the deeper videos. But there you go for Terry Labonte. King Richard Petty's autograph right here. This is his base version, of course, with one of the best autographs in all of sports, period. Something that you actually could read. And there you go. That is for Richard Petty. If I'm going a little too fast, of course, you could pause the video, or you could go check out these images over on my Flickr. So here we go now with Dale Jarrett. Flip that card around, and here you go with Dale Jarrett's base autograph. Cale Yarborough. And an awesome autograph right here, I believe, because when we flip this card around, I think this is an air card. And indeed it is. Look at that. He signed the back of it. And then he must have caught himself and came back around and signed the front. Now, I thought this used to be very unique in that there was only like 1 or 2 of these, but I think there's actually been about, I think, at least 7 of these made out there so far that I've been able to count off the top of my head. But still, very happy to have this dual autograph air card. And there you go for Cale Yarborough. Now here's another unique autograph. As you can see here, it says Darrell Lee Waltrip. He signed his full name. I noticed that with Darrell Waltrip, he seems to change it up a little bit. Sometimes he adds a smiley face. Sometimes he writes down 17. Not every single Darrell Waltrip autograph is the same. So here is a good autograph right here featuring his entire name, Darrell Lee Waltrip right there. Thank you very much, Mr. Waltrip, for including that and making this a very unique autograph indeed. Here we go with Harry Gant, which I will go ahead and tell you right now as we go into the deeper videos. Even though he has one of the better autographs as well, his autograph is actually numbered the highest. I believe when we go to the blue video next, his blue signature, or rather his blue endorsement autograph, is numbered up to 199, which is sky high compared to everybody else. Here is Herschel McGriff, an old school driver, and this is obviously a very old picture. It's black and white, but there you go for Herschel McGriff. This is the first driver that I saw the checker flag autograph for back in the eBay days, when I was looking around to see how the checker flag design would be. His one of one was the first one that I saw on eBay. Here we have Ned Jarrett, the father of Dale Jarrett, a champion in his own right, and that will be his autograph right there. Again, nothing too fancy. We're really trying to save a lot of the tidbits for the gold Prizm hit. And so here she is, ladies and gentlemen. It is Danica Patrick. This is her base endorsements. And I have to say, every finish of the endorsement autograph line, from the blue to the base, the red, the gold checker flag especially, they were all on the mark. On-card autograph, excellent. What else can you say? So there you go. That is Miss Danica Patrick right there. Here we go now with Kevin Harvick. Kevin Harvick, as you can see, a championship winner, very consistent, but doesn't seem to be able to really secure a championship though. You got to go to that. It used to be Homestead, now it's going to be Phoenix. He might have a lot better shot now at winning the championship, considering now it's going to be in Phoenix, where the championship race will be decided. Here is Matt Kenseth, who has been on and off the racetrack, and I think as of this video is back on the racetrack. taking over for Kyle Larson after he had his PR little mix-up there. And that will do it for Matt Kenseth's autograph. Here we go now with Rusty Wallace. We're almost to the end here. We've got about 5 more autographs. And Rusty Wallace featuring that Miller Genuine Draft black and gold uniform with a black and gold car. Nothing reminds me of the 90s, man, more than seeing images like this back in the heyday of NASCAR. And then thinking of Rusty Wallace, Earnhardt was his main competition. Well, we don't have Dale Sr., but we have Dale Earnhardt Jr. And this here is his autograph for the endorsement line. Has that security sticker, that verification sticker though, so you're going to have to deal with that with his autographs. But when we flip the card around, there you go. That's Dale Earnhardt Jr. And then we're going to conclude here with Casey Mears, who this base autograph I hate seeing because there's a million of them. There has to have been at least 200 of these things made out for Casey Mears, so I'm just going to go ahead and toss this aside. And then we have Daniel Suarez. This was a pretty hard autograph to secure, although I'm sure it's not because it's just my bad luck. It's not because I don't think this is particularly short printed. But there you go with Daniel Suarez. And the last autograph that's going to be showcased, and a driver that will be of significance as we go moving forward in this series of videos, will be for William Byron. Again, with the verification sticker right there. This was before Haley Deegan, so this was probably the top prospect in terms of NASCAR. And I think as we go on, there's probably a reason why Panini really gave him a lot of emphasis in terms of lower print runs compared to everybody else. So that will do it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you want to see the images, still images, go to my Flickr. And with that said though, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. And with that said, let's go ahead and go to video 2 of the series, where we go through all of the blue signature or blue endorsement autographs.